My name is Sheridan Aguirre. I just turned 24. I identify as queer and I use they, them, theirs, or he, him, his pronouns.
My name is Celia Israel. I am 53 years old and I'm a lesbian and I'm a woman, I'm a girl. When I was, probably like in middle school, I remember seeing on TV all of those marches and the activists happening. I was a big TV kid, news kid. Me and my mom are watching TV and I see all of these rainbow flags and a march for gay rights and homosexuality and these words that I had were never a part of my radar. And I remember asking my mom, grew up in El Paso, Texas, and I remember asking her, Mom, what is a homosexual? And it was an honest question. Like, I didn't know. We didn't have the internet. There was no way to just kind of know that back then.
Right.
And I remember my mom acting like she didn't hear me.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, what that taught me was, we don't talk about that.
One of the things that I'm really thankful for is all the history that has come before me. All the people who have been able to change or like transform their pride into action and saying like, we want to be recognized.
Yeah.
Whenever I told my parents for the first time that that I was queer, that I hinted at it, it was whenever I was 12. So this was around 2007. And I remember I just had like this question in my mind, like, so I had so many things in my mind wondering like, is it okay if I'm queer? Is it okay if I like boys? Is it okay if I'm this way? And I just remember one night I went up to my mom before she went to bed and like I sat down right next to her bed and I told her, Mom, like I have a question for you. I was kind of scared because I knew my mom loved me, so I didn't think that things would turn out bad. Like, I think that's why I had the courage.
You felt secure in your mother-son.
Yeah, yeah. And, I just asked her, I was like, Mama, ¿qué pasa si me gustan los hombres? And
you're 12?
Yeah, I was 12.
This is a big conversation to have when you're 12.
Yeah. And I just remember, I don't know why, but I just started crying, right? Like, I guess I just was not sure what was going to happen. Yeah. And my mom, she just leaned over the side of her bed and she hugged me and she said, Mijo, eso está bien, no te preocupes, yo te voy a amar como tú eres. Yo te amo a ti. Like, I love you. I'm going to love you as you are.
Yeah.
And for me, I remember just having such a like wave of relief. And also just being like, why did I think this would go wrong? Why did I think this would be like upsetting or go bad?
I finally, drew up the courage to just have that conversation. And I remember my mom saying, oh, mijo, that's fine. I'll always love you, but just do me a favor. Just never leave the church. And I felt like, and I actually told her, I said, Mom, I'll never leave the church, but sometimes the church leaves me. As a state representative, and as a candidate, sometimes I would mention it because I felt like people might want to know. But in the end, by the time I was running for office, it wasn't an issue. It was just it would matter sometimes, but more in a positive way. Like, oh, that's good to know. I'm glad you are, because after so many generations of fighting and marching on the Capitol and having these legislative and then judicial battles, we're finally getting to a point where it's not a big deal, for the most part. I mean, but we can't, give up. Obviously, it's still a challenge. I would much rather us work on transportation stuff than on anything else.
Yeah.
And putting that in context to say, you know what, public education, that's a big problem. Transportation, big problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Who gets to go into whose bathroom? Not such a big problem. I have no fear that we're going to let up. But my challenge, I think, as an older person, is to make sure that whenever I look behind me, there's always younger people who care. If there's any concern I have, is that there's not enough of you. More people like you. Because there is strength in numbers, right? When 10 people come out, there's one thing, but when 25 people come out, then you're making a fist.